out earning a living or stealing or doing. You people at least, are just running around the bookstores turning one issue of a magazine cover out. So be aware, folks, when you go in and try to purchase a copy of it. One other thing, I guess before we go to break, and then we'll go to your phone calls, I promise. I shouldn't laugh at this, but I can't help it. Because one of the most fun times I've ever had in my life is as a kid when I played practical jokes. I loved playing practical jokes, and I played some of the best practical jokes in the world. On the phone, I did all kinds of things. One of them, let me just give you an example. And this always pains my mother to hear this story, but it's out. When I was growing, it snowed one day, and I guess I was about 13 years old, and I was afraid to just sit around and do nothing all day. I was bored and all that, looking for something to do, even though I hated school. So I decided to work up these little practical jokes on the phone, my brother and I. So one day we decided to represent a church. I will not name the church. We represent a church in the neighborhood and call people on the phone and ask them if they could answer some questions about the Bible, and if they could, we'd give them $25 and have them come back to church and pick up their prize. And we called it a Know Your Bible contest, and we purposely select what we thought were the names of old people, figuring they'd be the easiest to fool. When you're 13 or 14, you have a different attitude about seasoned citizens. So you look for names like Ezra and Eli and things like that. You figure the odds are pretty good you're going to be an old person. So you call up and you... and I fortunately had a rather mature voice. I didn't sound 14, so I call up. And I'd answer the phone, and I'd say, hello, and I'd say, hi, is this Ezra, Eli, blah, blah. I said, yes, it is. Well, hi, this is Pastor so-and-so from the so-and-so church, and we're doing our annual Know Your Bible contest, a chance for you to win $25 while testing your knowledge of the Bible. They have 3 questions for you. If you answer the first one right, you get $5. The second question you answer correctly, you get $10, and there's a go for broke. If you get the third question right, you get $25. If you miss it, though, you don't win anything. You want to play? Oh, yeah, sure. So we'd ask him, what's the first book of the Bible? Ezekiel, right. You've just won $5. Good. Okay, in what book will you find the 23rd Psalm? Oh, gee. Revelation, right. You've just won $10. And so they were never wrong. And we called about 5 people. They all won $25, and there's a snow day, remember, so it's hard to get around. And each time we told them, just come down to church and pick up your cash to check. We'd love to meet you and celebrate your knowledge of the Bible. They said, well, it's not going to drive around a day like this, so we sent a cab for them. And it made the news on TV that night. It made the local TV news. Because these cabs wouldn't pick these people up and actually took them to church, and the church called the TV, so we're the subject of a hoax. And we did it the following summer with the Know Your History contest, Know Your American History, representing the Lions Club, and we got caught. Because we got bold, and we called the wife of the president of the Lions Club just to see how much we could get away with, and she nabbed us just like... But it still made the news because they didn't know how many people we'd call. So they had the news that if you were called today by representatives of the Lions Club and asked to go to the Marquette Hotel, it's not true. So I read this story in the Post today. A prank was aimed at a judge, and it really turned out to be a joke on more than 200 New Yorkers who turned up at a courthouse to apply for jobs that didn't exist. A hoaxer put ads in the Sunday and Monday editions of the New York Times seeking... Now listen to this. See, you wonder why people respond to this stuff. This is what amazes me. Seeking secretaries and security guards, quote, clean records not necessary. So you're guaranteed to attract a bunch of human debris. You're guaranteed... You just say, hey, if you got a record, come on down. The judge wants to hire you. Clean records not necessary. And it was $12.50 an hour, so 200 people showed up for the job. Applicants were told to phone Justice Elliot Wilk or to come to State Supreme Court which is down on Center Street. By early afternoon, more than 200 people had shown up, only to be told that they were victims of a joker. Here's what one of the eyewitnesses said. People were cursing, shaking their heads. Among those applying for the bogus jobs was a woman in her 30s who had traveled from the Bronx. I just spent money to hire a babysitter, she said, dissolving into tears. She dissolved into tears, folks, because if that's all it takes to make you cry. Now, wait just a second. I mean, Snerdley is acting like I'm too insensitive. See, don't forget, I am the vain brain here. You know, this is... She dissolves into tears just because it turns out to be a hoax. Another applicant screamed, this is sick, 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 and stormed out. One man refused to believe there were no jobs. It was in the Times, he said. How can it be wrong? It was in the Times. The ads were purchased for a whole week, but they've been pulled out of the Times. Oh, I'm sorry. I love practical jokes. I mean, it's a shame that this one targeted people. It's obviously who did this is mad at the judge. And the judge is out of town on vacation. He didn't even know anything about it. We'll be back in just a second.
You're listening to the EIB Network.